Alrighty, I think we are good to go. Pretty sure this is working, so thank you guys so much for coming. I'm waiting for it to show me that there's people here, but I am the Vice President of Nutrition and Communication for Green Juju. My name is Billy, and I'm here, hi to Beth, to answer any questions you guys might have. If you know anything about me, you know I love transparency. I know, I love people to be able to know that, they're feeding the right things to their animals. And so one of the things we want to do here at Green Juju is give you, all of as much transparency as we possibly can. And to give you a little intro into, the company and a little bit more about us and about how we do things. So here at Green Juju, we are all about making products that are going to amplify diets. So we are going to, whether it's our blends, whether it's our bone broth, whether it's our freeze-dried treats, we're looking to have a positive impact on it, on animals and their health. So that's why we're here. And I know hi to Christine and Erica and the Shed Rescue. Thank you. It's always really cool to see people that I recognize, over time, over the last 11 years of being in this industry. So thank you so much for that. Carol says, hi, Billy. Great to see you doing these again. I feel very good. It's really nice to be able to connect with all of you guys again. Thank you, Catherine, for the haircut comment. I agree. I got my haircut yesterday. So thanks on that. It was about, a week overdue. But really happy to be able to connect with you guys. And it's been a while. So thank you guys for coming. And hi to Darlene as well. I don't know if I said that or not. But like I said, any questions you guys have. And the cool thing about, moving forward, Kelly, the founder of this company, has always been very forthright about why we use the best ingredients and telling you about them. So, I just want to be sort of an extension for that. So I'm very excited in this company to be able to take Kelly's vision and contribute to that. So that's really exciting for me to be able to do that. So if you think of something that you have questions outside of this live, obviously, feel free to give us an email anytime. Check out our website, check out our contact form, and feel free to ask questions anytime in terms of doing that. Hi to Suki in Omaha. Hopefully I got that. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. So. And yes, do not judge me for drinking coffee at 7:05 p.m. Hi to Karen as well. It is good to see you here. Recognize you for sure for that. Cool. So here's the first question. I feel kind of good. This is my first, if it's my first ceremonial question. So Erica says, my 2 pups love Green Juju. My 10-month-old has severe skin issues. Your bison bone broth and salmon treats were the first things we tried, and she loves them. I always have multiple Green Juju products in stock at my house. Cannot thank you enough for the quality and variety. That's awesome. More of a testimonial there, but, really happy to be able to help on that. And our bison bone broth is amazing. It comes from an amazing farm. It's grass-fed, grass-finished bison, and you get that, the actual gelatinous broth there. And so really, really happy about that. And I know for sure Lua loves that. I would show you Lua, but I'm about to take a trip, and she's actually being watched by someone, so she's not at my house, which is a little sad. I'll say that. Hi to Terry in Australia. So I have no idea what time it is for you there. But thank you so much for coming on. Catherine says, Max wants to know if Juju plans on making chicken nuggets. Just FYI, these are my friends, and they're making fun of me. So that's totally fine. So hey to Shayna, just hung out with you in Williamsburg, Virginia. And here, you want to bring her on? Come here, come on. And for those of you who are here, I'll take her. This is important stuff here. So for those of you that know anything about me, you might know that I just had a daughter, and this is her. Her name is Maple, and she's wearing a Captain America outfit today. So check her out. She's the cutest thing in the world. If you want to write about how cute she is, you can do that. Okay, here you go. Okay, back to dogs. Don't worry, people. I still love dogs. So hi to Lauren. So Suki says, is there food in the future? And hi to Tracy. So, we're actually looking at a lot of things. It's actually a very exciting time to come on board with Green Juju, because we have a lot of cool stuff coming out between now and probably next spring. So it's not exactly stuff I can get into, but expect multiple things. And so I got really excited, when me and Kelly started talking about where we could go in terms of doing that. Now, keep in mind, too, that, we are really mostly a plant-based company. So when we, incorporate things like fermentation and things like that, that's going to sort of be what we look into. But nothing is really off the table. So without being able to specifically answer your question, because of obviously a lot of things are in development, there's a lot of things on the table to be able to do that. So excited to do that. And we're working hard for you. Michelle says, Admiral's watching tonight to celebrate a Dane milestone, 12.8 years old yesterday. Wow, that's great. He has Green Juju frosting on his cake. Not only is that cool that your Great Dane is like that old and you've been able to do that for him, but also that he got a cake for 12.8 years is pretty amazing. Beth says, will this be able to see after? Yes, this should be on our timeline. Amy says, any plans for pork or lamb products? We do really enjoy novel proteins to appeal to more dogs. If you notice our bison bone broth and things like that. Don't know right now, but as I said, any suggestions you guys have too, like this, great suggestion, and we will keep that in mind for the future as well. Erica says, will there be more bison products in the future? That's a really good idea. Stay tuned. Hey, Nate Estes from California. Thank you so much for coming on. I think I get to see you soon, so that's pretty cool. If there's any retailers on here, I will be at Super Zoo walking around, so come find me and you can get probably a special little prize. So just throwing that out there. I'm getting to the baby comments now. This is my favorite section here. So Carol says, most precious baby ever. Adorable. Oh my goodness, she's so precious. I agree with this, and she's very superhero today. So Tracy from Virginia Beach says, hi, little family. Carol says, sorry, Billy, but she looks like her mama. That's great. I would be very, very happy if she looks nothing like me and looks like my wife. So she would be much better off in that case. Just throwing that out there. Irene says, oh my God, so cute. I know this is not exactly dog related, but it warms my heart. Rebecca says, dogs and babies, nothing better. That is absolutely true. Hey, to Quincy down in Indiana. Congrats on buying a health food store. That's pretty awesome. Now you're affecting the health of humans and dogs, so that's pretty awesome. I would love to see you guys at some point in the near future. That'd be pretty cool. Erica says, any chance you guys can hurry up with the new products? Asking for my dog. Well, your dog will be very happy because I don't think you're going to have to wait very long. Obviously, there's some, lag time between not only what we were working on previous to me being here and getting some of those things out as well. And then obviously there's, things take time, but it is definitely the main thing we're working on. So I don't think you'll have to wait too long for some of those things. So that's pretty cool. I know a lot of, if you know me, anything about me, I talk a lot about my favorite part about being the job. And I know Kelly posted on this recently as well, is figuring out new products and just like being excited about the health outcomes that are going to happen because of those new products. So, I think that's really, really fun. And, it really spurs us on that you guys are excited about that. So thanks for saying that. Brian says, hi from PA, looking forward to learning about Green Juju. Where can I get these? Well, we are sold at independent stores. It depends on where you are in Pennsylvania. Check out our website for more information on that. And most likely, if a store does not exactly, a lot of stores are going to carry it, but if they don't carry it, they can most likely order it for you because they're ordering from a distributor that has it already. So I know for sure, because I live in Pennsylvania, that there's a lot of places you can get it. Deborah says, Juju flavors. That could be fun. Rabbit and duck. Thank you. Love this for my dogs. Well, one, you're welcome. And number two, that's a great suggestion. Hey to Marianne English. Oh, and thanks for posting the store locator there. So that's pretty awesome. We do have a store locator on our website. Beth says, is green Juju pureed green? My 10-year-old border has liver ALT elevation. Thanks. It is actually a little bit different than just a puree. So I know that people talk about you should either steam vegetables or you should puree them. But we actually do something further than that, which is we juice them and then we add the pulp back in. So it's a further breaking down. So they're still raw and we further break them down and pre-process them and sort of like, almost like very like closer to like the stomach contents of an animal because they're broken down but still in a raw food state. And that is something that Kelly brought to the table 10 years ago, and so that was a very innovative thing that she did. So Joanne says, are all green Juju products available to get from distributors in Minnesota? Yes. I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, we're not available in all distributors in Minnesota, but we do have a distributor in Minnesota. So I would ask your local store if they don't have it to bring it in. Tracy Ann says, what is her middle name? Her name is Maple Everly Hoekman. So I think it's a beautiful name. And she'll be 3 months on August 1st. So she's killing it so far. Any specific blends, i.e. liver tonics, kidney specific, etc.? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. So if you could elaborate a little bit more on that. Carol says, I'm teasing. Actually, in the eyes Insta post, she looks like you. Well, I'll take it that way too. Erica says, my local store does not carry the bison bone broth, so I just buy it by the case. LOL. They definitely know by now. Well, if I were your store, I would bring it in. That's just me, though. That's just one man's opinion. Kelly says, are there any changes in packaging and discussion to be more environmentally conscious, specifically the freeze-dried treats? We're always looking for ways to do that. So, if you want to reach out on, we're continually looking for, how do we make the products, more eco-friendly? How do we make the products more, user-friendly? How do we improve them nutritionally? It runs the whole gambit of that. So, Kelly, that's a great idea. And, we are, continually looking into that. And if you ever, have a suggestion, feel free to reach out to us too, because that helps as well. Because sometimes I think people think like, oh, well, they must have thought of this, but you never know. So that would be a good thing to consider there. Tracy found green Juju in Annapolis, Maryland. That's awesome. Not too far, I think, from where I am here in Philadelphia. Erica says, how about products for cats? Well, our freeze-dried treats are amazing for cats. We've actually had, a lot of people tell us that they're very palatable for cats, and I think that's really half the battle in regards to, winning over your cats, and also, just getting our freeze-dried treats are heart and liver, aside from the salmon, and so you're getting that more nutrient-dense content. And so there are a lot of, I've been dealing with people for my entire career who say, my cat won't eat food that's from a can or raw or anything like that. And if we're all about affecting animals' diets at every level. We also want to help the animal that they will not go near anything that's not, freeze dried or kibble based. That's one of the missions that I really wanted to, um, one of the reasons I chose to work with Green Juju was because I know for Kelly and also, for me, how do we affect the diets of as many animals as possible? So that we know there are people that won't go to the freezer. For those that will, that's an amazing thing, and I'm one of those people myself. But for those that won't, we want to help those animals as well. So cats, that's a great suggestion in the future. I mean, it's a little bit harder because we are mostly a plant-based company in terms of, adding in like our green blends and things like that. And even, with some of the stuff with fermentation and whatnot in the future. But the freeze-dried treats, and for those of you that love the freeze-dried treats, I think you'll be happy in the near future. So yeah, that should work with cats. There you go. And I love that my counterpart here is answering these questions as well. So that's the best part about that. We are a great team. Brian says, does Ziegler distribution carry it? I'm actually not sure. So that will show you how new I am. But reach out to us and we can get a definitive answer for you. Oh, there you go. We work with pet food experts in that region. I knew that. Tracy says, very pretty name. Thank you. Maple was the first name that we both were like, oh, that's it. So we both had ideas for names that we kind of disagreed on. But when we go to Vermont every year, and Maple seemed very fitting. Shout out to anyone here that's from Vermont. You have a beautiful state. Carol says, would you talk about the health benefits of bison broth? Yeah, that's a great question, Carol. Bone broth is just an absolutely incredible food generally. I mean, I think a lot of people talk about hydration, which is true. But hydration is a concept of like, oh, you're just adding moisture to it. But that's not exactly it. So what I love about the moisture in bone broth is that everything that's in it, so be it the protein, be it the minerals, all of that is going to be suspended in a high moisture area. So it's going to be much easier because that is, moisture is the delivery system of nutrients. So it's going to be much easier for the body to assimilate those things like calcium, like phosphorus, like, even getting down into things like collagen and getting into things, it's going to be much easier for the body to assimilate all of those things. And then also, too, it's an amazing source of, I don't mean it's an amazing source of protein like it's super high in protein, but the type of protein it has, which is free amino acid form, is going to be very, very, again, bioavailable, and the kidney doesn't have to work to filter any waste from that process. So bone broth is one of those things that, I've been incorporating into my dog's diet for her entire life, and my own diet obviously as well. I do make a pretty mean chili that includes bone broth, but no one cares about my chili, so I'm not going to go into that. Those are just a few of the things, in regards to that. It also reduces the body's need for protein just generally, because that protein is so bioavailable. Remember, there's a scale for different types of protein. And this one kind of works in its own thing because within the processing of the broth itself. And again, one of the differences in Green Juju is you can really see the difference. You can actually see the thickness in that broth, and we can see that, the things that you want are actually getting into, the broth itself. And it's frozen. Hopefully that helps. Joan says, love her name. Thank you. Recently discovered Green Juju. My dogs love it. That is awesome. Hey to Barb, I just saw you. So, hey again. I literally saw you this afternoon, so I'm really glad you're here now. Probably too much of me already. So, Lisa says, my girl loves the bison bone broth. L&B Healthy Pet Markets in Montclair, New Jersey. The best little local shop. Yes. Love the folks down at L&B. Shout out to Mark, who I've been working with for a long time. Great staff over there. Haven't been over there obviously in a while, but would love to do something there. So if you see this, Mark, thanks for advocating for us. We really appreciate it. Beth says, we at Dogs by Design in PA love Green Juju products. That's awesome, Beth. Maybe, you're in PA. Maybe I can come by and see you sometime. You should reach out to us. And thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Joan says, my local store says they can only order and sell bison broth in a case. Should I be able to get it in individual containers? Yes. Yes, you should. They order it a certain way, but that doesn't mean that well, I mean, I guess it would depend on how your store does it, but most stores stock it in the freezer and they're just ordering, cases of it, which is 4, and then they'll just have it on the shelf and you can buy an individual one. So I would just ask them about that. But it would just depend. So, oh, okay, got it. So, it's a little update on this question. So liver, beets, milk thistle, celery things, kidney cleansing, vegetables, kind of from a TCVM approach. Yeah, I mean, you just have to look at the specific blends, but we have products with beets. I think we're also looking to expand on that to some degree as well, because obviously, yeah, beets have a big effect on the liver. Celery is in our blends as well. So you just kind of, when it comes to things like TCVM, which I know less about, so I have a base, I guess, understanding. I usually defer to people like Judy Morgan and, people I know like that are real pros at that. So you just kind of have to, compare and contrast on the label as looking at what each one is. So, but all of them, it's pretty clear that every dog can benefit from this kind of food, from these kinds of vegetables, just in general. I mean, if you look at, any study that's been done with, fresh, frozen, greens and vegetables, I mean, it's obvious that, and one of the reasons I'm here is because we can make such great, health outcomes given these things. So, I would encourage all of you to go to our, especially if you have a question like this, to go to our website and look at the ingredient panel and kind of see what you're looking for exactly. But I think there's some, when it comes to some of the things you're mentioning, JJ, I think there's some really cool things in the future coming too. So I think you could be excited about that. So Kimberly says, what is the difference between the two blends, Just Greens and Bailey's Blend? Well, number one, they have different bone broths. So the Just Greens has bison bone broth and the Bailey's Blend has turkey bone broth. But they also just have a different nutrient profile based on the vegetables and fruits or berries that are actually in them. Like, for instance, Bailey's Blend has blueberries in it and broccoli, which is going to be different than something in the Just Greens blend, which ideally, if you're using them, rotating between them is the best thing to do. And that's what I do at home. I make Lua's food, my dog from, and Green Juju is a big part of that, obviously, with the bone broth and with the blends. And I just rotate between the two of those blends as well. And shout out here if you'd like to see more blends. If I see enough comments, we just may consider it. Tracy says maybe kitty greens in the future, perhaps herbs that kitties can benefit from. That's not a bad idea actually, because we know that both cats and dogs in the wild do sort of naturally seek out certain plants at different times. Barb says, my golden puppy, 9 weeks old, and our 12-year-old 8-month golden thank Green Juju for their super healthy products that are added to their bowls every day. Can I just tell you guys that I met this puppy today? I mean, I know the 12-year-old 8-month golden very well, but I met the puppy, and that puppy is adorable. Just throwing that out there. Any day you get to meet a puppy is like a very solid day. Whoop, I lost it. So some of them, someone just said that the freeze-dried treats are a big hit at their store. So thank you so much for that. The questions are moving pretty fast now, so if I miss your question, I apologize for that. Laurel says, I love Green Juju, the bison bone broth, the only company I will buy for Arya. That's great. Thank you so much. Barb says she'd love some of my chili. Thank you. Sonia just saw that I was live. Yes, this will be available to rewatch. Sarah says, how's Philadelphia? Philadelphia is good. We love Pennsylvania. It's been an amazing... I've lived in many places in the country, and I think Pennsylvania is my favorite. So, who knows? It might just be the people. But Kristen says, my lab loves the bison bone broth. It's been fantastic in helping her heal from a knee injury. Oh, that's awesome. I just love when you can see a marked difference in especially an animal that's getting over something like that. It's so cool. Joan says, for a dog recovering from giardia and long-term diarrhea issues, would the Green Juju greens be helpful for the diarrhea issues? I mean, extra fiber is going to be good in that case, and also just, extra antioxidant support, which is, so you want to take from vegetables what they're good at. And, I think a lot of people, if they are sort of like looking at vegetables not being right for dogs, they're looking at it in the case that people are using, plants to make protein and fat, which is not what they're good at. But for what vegetables are good at, like antioxidants and fiber, all of those different colors, all those different, nutrients and precursors for vitamins, all of those things would be very, very helpful. And to add more moisture back, especially, if you're dealing with diarrhea issues. Nate says, how long does the frozen thawed greens last? Can I thaw some and refreeze? Yes. It's 5 to 7 days in the refrigerator, and you can definitely thaw some and refreeze it. So no issues with that. Suki said, so okay for those with kidney issues needing low protein. Yes, this would not negatively impact that at all. Catherine says, what percentage of a dog's, parentheses, whose raw-fed diet should be Juju greens in calories? Well, the nice thing about Green Juju is you're adding a really great pop of nutrition with not a ton of calories. So what I would do is formulate and I think we're obviously going to talk about this specifically, not here, but I would formulate your dog's diet in terms of where they're getting the majority of their calories. And I know this because you're talking about feeding a dog on a homemade raw diet. And I know that because I know you, which is why, just for the other people here who don't know that. So what I would do is calculate your calories from, I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, your calories from the majority where your calories come from, which would be like meat, bone, or, raw milk, or whatever you're doing for, the animal portion of it. And then subtract out that many calories by what it says on the actual packaging. So if it says, a quarter of a cup is this many calories and this is how much you do for this dog, then do that amount and then just subtract that amount of calories. It's probably the easiest way to do that without having to do an exact percentage. Be my recommendation. Beth says, we'd love to have you at our store. We'll reach out soon. Good. That's awesome. Love my hometown, or current home state people. Barb says, yep, Dr. Judy Morgan, Dr. Sarah Urban, TCM. Yes, Dr. Judy Morgan is my friend, and Sarah Urban is not only my friend, but my vet as well. So yes, very awesome people. Ann says, could you please do your reveal of a new product at Cheryl's Healthy Pet Market here in Wisconsin? We have loved Green Juju forever. I love your enthusiasm. I'm actually in Wisconsin a lot because I'm from there, and it's my favorite state by far. I know I just said Pennsylvania is my favorite state, but where you're from, I think, always holds a special place in your heart. So I love Wisconsin. I think we have something else planned for revealing some of our new products coming up here. But next time I'm in Wisconsin, I'd love to come and see you guys if you reach out to me. Suzanne from Florida wants more blends. Beth says yes, more blends. I couldn't agree more with you. Rachel says, how can consumers help get green juju in Texas? That's a great question. We're actually currently working on that, Rachel. So consumers can help get green juju in Texas by asking their local store to carry it. And their local store then will tell their distributor, hey, we've been getting a lot of requests for green juju. We really need to bring this in. But I will tell you this, Rachel, we are actively working on it. And we're hoping that it happens very soon. Because we see you in Texas and we want to help you. Macy says more blend. Everyone says more blends. So Abigail says, so excited for the new product. Our whole household is on green juju. Thank you so much. And thank you for being excited. It's just, it never becomes old. So Amy says, would love to see a blend with pork or lamb. I'm glad I put the call out for more blends here. So Ashley says, we're a small independent retailer in Ontario, Canada. We sell your treats. Our dogs love them. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for doing that. And, we're looking to definitely get more of a footprint in Canada as well because we see you up there. I'd love to actually come to Canada and do some fun things. Obviously, right, the past year has not been, great for, travel, etc. So, but would love to do that. So thank you so much, Ashley. I went to Ontario when I was like 18, and that was a million years ago because I'm far from being 18. Lindsay says, so good to see you're doing your thing on videos answering questions again. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate I really appreciate that. It is really nice to be back. Janet says, it's so good to see Billy being Billy. That's very nice. I blush a little bit. I really appreciate that. And, I'm happy to be here. Nate says, will you all be creating a merchandise store? I would love to wear your brand proudly. Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to put that in the mental bank for ideas in the future. And especially, too, for you retail stores out there, too. We would love to be able to help you guys out as well. So maybe that's a good idea. Kimberly says, more blends, please. Variety is the spice of life. You're welcome for the math tips, Catherine. I just think it makes it easiest that way without having to be like, here's the percentage of diet, to be able to do that. But also, it's just real food. So, I know you, and you are like me, where you're like, I want to measure everything out. But for those of you that don't want to measure things out, what an awesome way to just like take some real food and plop it into their bowl. And it doesn't need to be an exact amount. It doesn't, it's just food. So, when we eat our food, we just eat a portion of a salad, right? Or something like that. A good example of that was, last night, me and my wife had steamed broccoli. So it's not like we were like, well, we're going to do 1/4 of a cup because it's this many calories. No, we just made 2 bowls with all the broccoli, and there you go. So something to think about there. And I think I missed a question up here about dandelion greens, or dandelion greens just generally. So Suki said, what are the benefits of dandelion greens in the blend? So there you're looking at, I think the biggest benefit is liver detoxification, but you definitely get all of those wonderful antioxidant, properties that come from, dark leafy greens. So Melissa says, hi from East Hollywood. Thank you, Melissa, for coming. I used to live in East Hollywood. I lived in Little Armenia, so for 5 years. So I know your area very well. Hi to Border Collie Jr. Know you well from some of the lives there. Marianne says, where's Lua? Lua is actually, I'm leaving on a trip to Florida tomorrow. And actually, if you want to check out a live tomorrow, I'll be live with a company called CBD Dog Health. So that's tomorrow. So check out their social media for the timing on that. If you want to see more of me tomorrow. So Lua is actually just being watched by a friend, and normally she's here, but with the baby, it's a little bit hard right now, and so she gets to be with a wonderful friend of ours for a few days. But we miss her. Beth says, good to know pup can handle it. We'll be getting a pup soon. Yes, puppies are great. Green Juju products are great for puppies. Janet says, I'll ask Wild Birds to carry it or at least order it for me in Springfield, Illinois. There you go. Jill says, would love to see an organic blend for detoxing. Well, we do definitely, all of our blends are organic in regards to that. And I do think that, all of the ingredients in our blends are conducive to detox. And so I think, the good news is I think that we're already there. But that's a good tip for the future for, if we want to target certain things. Nicole says, come to Riverside. Is that in Florida? I'm not sure if that's when I was talking about Florida. Suki says, I want a t-shirt. Sonia says, when you read this, are you back to the plopping of the food? I don't know exactly what that means, but we do like the plopping of a big plop for a big dog, a medium plop. I mean, because, the measuring, I measure, but, I'm also like the nerdiest of nerds when it comes to food. So, don't feel like you have to be part of that club if you don't want to be. So, Jenny says, so happy you are with Green Juju now and doing lives. You're welcome. We are here to be transparent. We also, and we got about 6 more minutes, and then I'm going to try to make dinner. But we got about 6 more minutes. We really appreciate if you would share this video because it really helps the reach on it. And also, can I just say again, I'm very happy to be back and seeing all of you guys and everyone who's excited about nutrition, about doing the right thing for their animals. I think is it's just really fun for me. And I also, as the world's opening up more and getting out there, I am excited to see everyone. Again, if you're a retailer watching this, I will be at Super Zoo in Las Vegas walking around. So come find me and I'll give you a special present, as it were. But just come and hang out and talk to me and let's talk about what we can do for you guys. Danielle says, love, love, love all the Green Juju products, and so does my dog. My dog's rehab vet even praised me for feeding Green Juju. That's amazing. So cool that she was aware of the anti-inflammatory benefits, and glad to hear that feedback from a vet. My dog has been eating the greens blends for years. That is so cool. Tracy says, please hug the CBD friends for me. Apparently the live tomorrow is at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm glad that someone that's not me who's actually on it knows that. So that's always good. But very sorry to do that. Michelle says, sorry I'm late. You may have already answered this. Can consumers buy direct from Green Juju? Yes, just check out our website. Cindy is a plopped person. That's good. Catherine says, president of the Nerd Club. Yes, in more ways than I think people know. 3 Dogs and a Chick says, do you have any retailer training for staff members at retail stops? I would love, for any of you retailers that are watching this, I would love to do a training with your staff specifically, especially, we can do something over Zoom if I'm not going to be in your area. And I would love to show you a PowerPoint and talk about how we can all do better and how we can all, sell Green Juju and help as many dogs as we can. So if you're a retailer and you're watching this, please reach out. I'm happy to help. So I like all the people who, thank you for the share, Beth, and I like all the people that are talking about if they're a plopper or not. That's pretty amazing. I think Kelly would really like that. She is definitely a plopper. Just throwing that out there. I'm glad there's room for both ploppers and non-ploppers. Ruth says, glad you're back and making Good, safe, nutritious things for our fuzzy family members. Me too. What a wonderful thing that I got to arrive at such an awesome, transparent company that's just, was already making amazing things, and that I get to be a part of that and contribute. Super happy about that. So thank you, Ruth. Really, really appreciate that. Fangs and Fur says, hey, stop by Fangs and Fur Pets in Columbus, Ohio on your way to Wisconsin. Cool, thanks. That would be cool. What's funny? I have driven through Ohio because I've actually driven, made the trip from Philadelphia to Wisconsin, and but I would like to explore Ohio more. So maybe there's some room for that in there. But would love to stop by if I could. That would be great. Sonia says, I accidentally pushed send before I got to I am plopped too. So I'm glad. I was worried about you. I know you're plopped. Thank you, Sonia. Susan says, thanks, Billy, for all that you do. Congratulations on your new daughter. Thank you. She is the best. Franny says, we got at least one measure there. Ruth, nice work. I'm a measurer too. Ploppers, you're great as well. Franny says, I work for a Northwest pet food company, won't name, and just happened into this live. I appreciate this. You're welcome. Glad you're here. I think we can all help animals. Ploppers versus measurers. Yes, it's the question we all want the answer to. Elizabeth says, are all of your products okay to give a dog with copper storage disease? Yeah, I don't really see why there would be any reason for that. Why there'd be any issue with that. So I think you're fine. Border Collie Jr. keeps a journal of their dog's food every day. So yes, I'm a nerd too. That's a good kind of nerd. Your dog's very, very lucky. And I'll end it on Border Collie Jr. says, we need shirts. We are ploppers. LOL. Team Plopper. That's amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. We at Green Juju are going to continue to be transparent and make the best things possible. We have an already great lineup of products, and I think too you guys are going to be really happy with what we're coming out with. So me and Kelly, Marion, the founder of Green Juju, are here to help you, and we're going to be doing these every month. So stay tuned, because we'll be back and we're here to answer your questions. So everybody have an awesome night. Thank you guys for coming, and we will see you soon.